So I don't know about you, but I like to have a plan.
Do you have a plan?
I don't even have a plan.
That way when I go out to the field, I know what I need to do. So in today's video, I'm gonna go over exactly how you can effectively practice putting, whether you have 15 minutes or an hour.
So before I get into the drills and everything on putting practice, the first thing you obviously need is a basket, right? If you don't have a practice basket, that's totally fine. If you do, go to your local field and set it up and just start banging some putts away. But if you don't have one, just come out to a course, find a hole where no one is on, and whenever somebody does come to the hole, make sure that you see them, they see you, and just step out of their way, let them play the hole, and then after that, let them pass through. But there are so many reasons for you to practice, but we make so many excuses not to practice. Tip number 2, and I'm gonna give you 2 more tips after this, and then I'm actually gonna tell you the drills. If you don't really care about these tips, go ahead and fast forward to the timestamps below. But tip number 2 is all about warming up, and especially from 10 to 15 feet, right? So if we're 10 to 15 feet and we're warming up and we're seeing a lot of our putts being made, we're gonna learn 2 things from that. The first thing we're gonna learn is we are going to learn what our putter is going to do today. We're gonna see if I'm pulling right, you're gonna see if you're pulling left, you're gonna see if you're missing high, missing low. You get the idea there. The other thing that warming up from 10 to 15 feet is gonna do is it is gonna build confidence.
Bruh.
That's just unfortunate. That wouldn't build confidence, but it's gonna build confidence. Because what you're gonna end up doing is you're gonna be making a lot more than you're ending up missing, right? So when you see 9 out of 10 putts go in from 15 feet, you're gonna feel pretty good about your putt. You're gonna feel pretty good about going about your day and really conquering this putting session. So tip number 2 is making sure we're warming up 10 to 15 feet. Let's go to tip number 3. Tip number 3, I'm gonna end a little disc golf argument that is just always over Reddit, Facebook, you name it, it's there. And it is how you should practice putting. And really, there's only 2 ways on how you should practice putting. The first way is if you are practicing for a tournament. You should only be doing one of 2 things. You should be going through your routine and making sure you step to a place where you don't really feel comfortable. That way, when you have a putt in the tournament, you feel comfortable and you start to knock them down, right? You're just going through your routine, you're feeling everything that you normally feel in a tournament, and that's how you practice putting there. The other way of practice putting is if you are changing your form, if you're new to disc golf or anything like that, what you need to do is that is when you take 10, 15, 20 different putters, you go from 20 feet to 10 feet, and you just start making those adjustments. You start feeling those adjustments. You start making that muscle memory in your head. That way, when you go to 15, 20, 25 feet, you're feeling a little bit more confident, you're making those putts, and you're not just jumping with your new form, or you're not just jumping if you're new, 30 feet, 35 feet, whatever it is, and you're not seeing the putter go in, you're getting frustrated. So I would say those are one of 2 ways of practicing. So with that being said, let's go. Tip 4. Tip number 4 is probably the most important tip, and it's how I transform my putting, and it is going to be developing and going through your routine every single time you putt, right? So what I need you to do during your next putting session, if you don't have one already, figure out a routine. Because what this is going to do is this is going to transform the way that you think, because what's going to happen is as you go through your routine hundreds and thousands of times, it's gonna feel like you've done it over and over and over again. And if you play competitive disc golf and you're going through your routine, you step up to a tournament putt and you go through your routine, you're gonna feel like you've done that hundreds and thousands of times. And it's not gonna feel like a tournament putt. It's just gonna feel like another practice putt in your backyard. So I highly encourage you to go out and build one, because really where this all stemmed from is when I went to a local tournament scene here in North Carolina and I caddied for my MPO friend. All 3 of these other guys on his card, every single time they stepped up to a lie, they assessed it, they stepped up to it, and they're like, okay, this is just another putt. They went through the routine and they drilled it. Like once you get to the MA1 and MPO level, they're making 90% of their circle 1 putts. They are disgusting inside circle 1. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with going through a routine. If they don't feel confident, or maybe something, distracts their attention, or something, a bug flies by the corner of their eye. I've seen this happen numerous times. As they're coming down and a bug flies or a cat runs in the background or something, they'll step off their lie, they'll reassess, they'll breathe, and then they just go right back into it. They go through their routine, make sure they know what they're doing, and drill it. So I really hope that this is a very important tip that I hope you take seriously. So tip number 1, tip number 2, tip number 3, and tip number 4. Now let's get into the drills. Baseball season's back today. Let me know in the comment section who your team is and if you're a fan of baseball. All right, it is drill time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out with our 10-minute layout. And this is a very simple layout. All you're gonna need is some practice putters and a phone. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna set a 10-minute timer on your phone. You're gonna step back to 15 feet with your practice putters, and you are just gonna see how many you can make from that distance. And then at the end of it, you are going to see how good you do. And then, oh my gosh, you're gonna see the next time that you come back if you can beat that score. Let's start. And just like that, 10 minutes are up. So be sure to count in your head how many that you make, and then next time you come out here, you can try and beat that score. It's really good to see the progression of if you're getting better at putting or not. And then the other thing that this is good for is if you just have a putter in your backyard, you're on a lunch break, whatever it is, this is good to just get some reps in, feel that you're getting better, and maybe some things that you're working on. But this is really just a good thing to do to get repetitions over and over again to become a better putter. So that's a 10-minute drill. Let's move on to the 20 to 30-minute drill. So if you have 20 to 30 minutes, this is gonna be a great drill for you. It's one of my favorites. You may have heard of the drill where you put your putter down, and if you make it, you flip it backwards. That way you're just stepping back and trying to make the same putt, essentially just a little bit longer. If you miss it, then you flip it forwards. That way you're just trying to make more putts at that point. So what we're gonna do with this one is we're gonna just take that drill and make it a little bit different. So what you need to do is you need to go to the edge of where you feel not confident in your putt. So for me, it's about 22, 23 feet or something like that. So that's where I'm at right now. Now what's gonna happen is you're going to take your putter, you're going to step up to your putt, and you're just gonna go through your routine like you normally would. If you don't have a routine, like I said in tip number 4, highly recommend that you make one because it saves a lot of strokes out on the course. Go through your routine. Once you're ready to putt, go ahead and do so. Now, if you miss it, what you're gonna do is you're gonna stay in the same spot with your putter. You're gonna go through your routine again, just as you would in a normal tournament or normal round or anything like that. If you make it, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this, and instead of just flipping it back to make the putt just a little different, you're gonna make this a good bit different. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take one giant step to the left or right and backwards. All right, so this not only changes the view behind the basket, but it's also going to change how far you are from the basket, the different wind, everything like that. So once you're ready again, you've made your putt, you're gonna go through your routine, just as you would. And if you make it, do the same exact thing, all right? So I've already been over there, so I'm just gonna take one giant step back this way, so probably another 3 feet. So now I started at about 20 feet, 22 feet, and now I'm at about 27 feet. And the background's a whole different, the wind's a whole lot of different. It's just all different, right? So that is kind of the goal of this drill. Not that. You need to make the putts. That's the goal of the drill. So the goal of the drill is to really just change your surroundings while getting better from closer and or further away from the basket. So that's 20, 30 minutes. Again, you can set your timer, challenge yourself to see how long you take. If you get back to circle's edge or anything like that, then switch to over here, switch to over here. Just change the dynamic, change the variable, right?
Yeah.
Change the variable, and I promise you this drill will make you a better putter. So that's the 20 to 30 minute drill. Let's move on to the 30-minute to an hour drill, all right? So for your 30-minute to an hour drill, this is an awesome amount of time to practice your putting because you're not only gonna get better, but you're gonna learn a lot of things about your putt. So what you're gonna do with this one, obviously you don't see a basket, and that's intended. So this is where you are going to video yourself. So if you don't have a tripod, I highly recommend getting one. If you do have a tripod, go ahead and take it out, put your phone on it, and you're gonna record. So all that's gonna happen in this drill is you're going to go through about 5 putts, 5 from the side, 5 from the front. All right, and then what you're gonna do is you're going to look at them in slow motion. You're gonna go frame by frame, and you're gonna see a lot of things that wouldn't normally be there, or you're gonna see things that normally you wouldn't think would be there, right? So in my old putt, I didn't realize that I was leaning forward so much and my nose was down so much until I recorded. So you're gonna figure that out for yourself. So my old putt might have looked something like that, and I either airball, I missed the basket, or I just hit the basket, and I'm not hitting a lot of chains. So after I actually recorded myself from the side and the front, I noticed that I need to do that. So I need to keep my chest up, I need to put weight on this back leg and explode off of it so I can putt a little bit higher, and then also change my nose angle, right? So I'm coming down and I'm exploding up. That is what we're gonna do for this drill. I'm gonna take some on the side, take some in the front. I'm gonna maybe try and break down my form. I don't know if you guys really care about that or not, but that is essentially what I want you to do. I want you to set up, I want you to figure out what is going on with your putt, why you're missing putts, etc., etc. So that is what we're gonna do. Okay, so here we are, and this is what I want you to do if you have a phone and a tripod. Just record yourself from different angles. That way, if you can't see something from the side, you can see it from the front. Obviously, don't put it right in front of you because you have to putt at the basket, but I want you to put it off to the side, but in front of you. So we're gonna look from the side and we're gonna look from the front. And as you see in my putt from the side, you are going to notice that my chest is up and my nose angle is up. And that is one thing that I have really, really struggled with in my career, if you will. I have just always wanted that focus on the nose angle of my putter being up and my chest staying up, because I've noticed so many times from recording videos, and I think it's very helpful that I'm a YouTuber, right? Because I get to notice certain things because I record all my rounds or record all my putts. But there's one certain thing that I noticed and I was missing and hitting basket a lot, was because my chest was down and my nose angle of the disc was down. And that's just gonna result in basket hits or just no chance of it even hitting the basket, and it's going below the basket, hitting the pole, hitting the dirt, whatever. So recording myself really changed and improved my game. So anyway, let's return to the video here. You're gonna see as I come through, my fingers give it all the spin. You're not gonna see a jerk motion with my shoulder. You're not gonna see anything with my arm flaring it forward. You're just gonna see raw power from my legs, my back leg anyway, and then you're gonna see a nice little pop from those fingers, and that is going to go directly into the chain. So my chest angle was up, nose was pretty much flat, honestly. It wasn't really up, even though it feels up. That's what I'm talking about though. Like when I feel like I'm putting, I feel like my nose angle is up, but then I look at back here and it is completely flat. So that's just something to note. I mean, it's just perfect, honestly. that putt was perfect. It hit center chains, hit pole, went in the basket. So that's from the side. This is a different putt from the front, or a little off center, right? But this one actually missed, and I wanted to miss one and make one, and I really wanted to miss one just to see what went wrong, right? So as you're gonna see here, everything is staying the same. My routine, everything, my left hand, my off hand, coming down with the disc, making sure that I'm doing the same thing as I normally would. But the thing that I'm noticing and why I missed this putt is I think I started my my power from my lower leg before my arm moved up. And if you want to make more putts, obviously you need power from the legs, but the big thing is you need to make sure that you are going up with the arm first and then giving yourself the power with your back leg. So I think that was a big reason I missed that putt. I actually hit like one chain on the far right side, so it was a complete pole. But anyways, yes, that is why I think in 20 to 30 minutes, go ahead, get your tripod, record yourself, and figure out why you are missing and making certain putts. I think this can really change your game. So that all being said, we got one final drill. Let's see what it is. All right, so we've made it to the fourth and final drill, and what we're gonna do for this drill is very simple. You're gonna need a basket, you're gonna need an open field that's about anywhere between 200 and 300 feet. That is obviously an approach shot. And what you're gonna do from there is you have 4 approach discs, or 5 or 3, or however many approach discs that you wanna start this drill with. You're going to simply then throw, and then I'm gonna let you know what to do from there. Nice. First throw with my Quake. I'm so excited. I miss this disc. I miss that thing so much. Just go in. Sick. Little headwind. Oh, that's gonna be my tester. Frick. Let's go down there and I'll tell you what to do next. So here we are on the putting green, and as you see, all 4 of my approaches landed within about 20 feet, which is a nice pat on the back for me, but it doesn't mean anything unless I make all 4 of my putts, right? So that's exactly what this drill is. However many approach discs that you started with, in my case it's 4, you're going to step up to each one like it's a tournament scenario. All right, you're gonna go through your routine, you're gonna go through your breathing. If you make all 4 putts, you're going to get rid of 1 approach disc, then you're gonna go back to, a similar area, just change the variable just a little bit, and then you're gonna do the same thing over again with just subtracted of 1 approach disc. So if you started with 3 and you made all 3, you're gonna subtract 1, you're gonna go back with 2. The drill is over once you are done and out of approach discs. This is gonna get you so dialed in on your approaches, but it's also gonna get you so dialed in on your putting, because right here, for example, my pyro is about 20 feet out from the basket. Downhill putt, not a lot of wind, should be an easy putt. And in my putting practice, I feel like this would be nothing, right? I feel like I could step up and just bang them home. But because I know that I want to get this drill over with because it sucks so much, I want to make sure that I make all 4 of these putts so then I can move on to 3. And then I move on to 2. So there's a lot of pressure with these putts, right? And that's exactly what you want to form in your practice. All right, so there's 2. Oh boy. Okay, so the quake, the zone, the pyro that I just put up there, these are all about the same distance. So essentially all I need to do is just copy and paste the result, right? Hopefully, easier said than done. Quake. See, I'm gonna reward myself and say I made that putt. That was mean, man. That was dirty. So if I make this zone, I'm gonna get rid of an approach disc, go down to 3 approach discs, and then do the same drill over and over again. I thought that one spit out as soon as I went down 2. Okay, so we are going to get rid of an approach disc. I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of my pyro. So I'm gonna go back up there with my 2 zones, my quake, change the variable a little bit, maybe go behind some trees if you have the ability to do that. But essentially, this is gonna get you so dialed in on your approaches, so dialed in on your putts, and so forth and so on. I actually made a video on this before, but I just really love this drill whenever I have time. Makes me a better player, makes me feel more confident in my upshots, but then also makes me feel more confident on the putting green. So if you have over an hour, do this drill, please. Well, you don't have to, but I think you'll be better.